Welcome back to the program. Now, big news here today because Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has announced the company will scrap its fact-checking program across all platforms. And we know how that fact-checking sort of stuff generally works. It's going to be instead replaced by community notes, similar to what we see on X, which allows users to add context to and debate posts. Here's a bit of Mark Zuckerberg explaining his decision.
I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political.
Hey, let's bring in to talk about this Liberal MP Andrew Wallace. Andrew, I thought the most fascinating thing there that Mark Zuckerberg said was there was pressure from governments. Is this an admission that governments have been trying to censor social media?
Well, James, thanks for having me on. Look, I think this is probably more an example of Mark Zuckerberg, who's a very intelligent, very savvy businessman, smelling the political breeze in the United States, particularly in relation to Elon Musk's involvement with the incoming Trump administration and Elon Musk's view on censorship. And I think it's pretty safe to say that incoming President Trump will have similar views on censorship. And this is just Elon Musk smelling that political breeze and wanting to try and get ahead of the game.
Fair enough. Hey, now let's move on to the election. The countdown to the election is on. Anthony Albanese has been up in Queensland, and he was up in Mount Isa announcing $260 million to go towards housing and community infrastructure. He has also been giving out money for the Bruce Highway. Tell us about this. What do you make of this, and why didn't he make these investments at the start of his term rather than at the end of this term?
Well, James, that's a very good question. What we have seen over the last nearly 3 years of this hopeless Labor government is more than $1.2 billion in cuts to the Bruce Highway. And that's under Anthony Albanese. That's on Catherine King. In my own electorate, we've seen significant cuts to very important road projects. And that's just in my patch. So, you know, Labor only holds 5 seats in Queensland, and clearly they are spooked because they are concerned that they're going to lose even more. So, you know, the Prime Minister has come up to Queensland thinking that he can splash some money around, but Queenslanders are too smart for that. They know this bloke, they're on top of this bloke, and they know that he is absolutely disingenuous. And, you know, he has been I used to say that this bloke was the worst Prime Minister since Gough Whitlam. I don't say that anymore because I think he's surpassed him. This is the worst government in Australian political history. And I just bring on the election. Bring it on, James.
And very quickly, speaking of that election, yes or no answer, is power prices going to be the #1 issue for Queenslanders coming up to the election?
Look, power prices will be part of it. Cost of living will be the #1 issue. People are doing it incredibly tough. Businesses, small businesses and households, they are hurting big time, and they want to kick someone.
Andrew, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Andrew Wallace, for joining us from Queensland.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.